Thank you. So, good afternoon. Um, Good afternoon. Okay. Medyo this is the first time that I'll be doing voters education inside the campus. I'm usually outside the campus kaya medyo mahirap. I'm doing barangay voters education, and since I've been doing that since last week pa, so I've been meeting a lot of barangay officials. Then this week lang na bakante tapos biglang students. So medyo mahirap yung audience. Anyway, I'll try my best to discuss to you what is suffrage or what is the right to vote. For me, this is very difficult because suffrage or right to vote is a very general term. So parang pinapunta ako sa harap, then I will be defining what is love. No, ang hirap. No? Ang daming definition. Or what is politics. Ang daming definition. But anyway, I'll try my best to relate to you what is suffrage or what is the right to vote. Okay. So suffrage is from the Latin word suffragium, which means to vote, political support, or basically the right to vote. Okay? It's not from the word to suffer. Kasi whenever I go to places, pag sinabing suffrage, it is parang a process of suffering. No, it's actually to vote or political support, or simply put, it's the right to vote. Now, the question is, why do we have the right to vote? Okay? Okay. So, okay lang. So, why do we have the right to vote? So, it's actually a human right. Okay? And why is it a human right? Because it's the most critical way of people in trying to influence government decision. Why is it that important? Pareho din yan ng right to life. No? Karapatang mabuhay, it's a right. Right to vote is similar. Because without this right, there's no way that we can actually influence the government. Bakit kailangan natin i-influence ang government? In a society where we use democratic principles, it is important because power emanates from the people. Okay? Unlike other countries na they are not democratic, power comes from other people. Like for example, if you go to mga monarchical, dictatorial states, North Korea, Cuba, it's usually their leaders telling the people what to do. But in a democratic society, it's the people telling the leaders what to do. And that has become a problem in many of the states. Hindi siya ganun kadali. For example, you have heard of Islamic states trying to become democratic, like Egypt, Syria, okay, Iraq, and now they are having problems. Bakit? Because for the longest time, they are used to following orders from leaders. Pero ngayon, sabi ng government nila, no. It's about time that people should decide what their leaders should do. And ngayon, hirap na hirap yung mga taga-Syria, taga-Iraq, taga-Egypt. Why? Because they the leaders keep on asking the people, what do you want me to do? And the people are answering, what do you want us to want? So, there's a problem. Okay? So, that's why right to vote is a human right because it's a need. Okay? It's a need. It is necessary in order for us to function as a community, as an individual. So, kailangan yon. That's why it is a human right. So, pag human right, it cannot be, it is not divisible. So, hindi pwedeng hatiin na, sige, I'll just exercise part my human right this year, then part is yours. So, di siya indivisible. It cannot be separated from you. It is inherent to a person. Sabi ko, similar yan with the right to life. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na, I will surrender my right to life. Okay? Thus, you commit suicide. No? So, hindi pwede yon. So, similarly, hindi mo pwede sabihin na, I will not exercise my right to vote. Parang ganun din yun, no? You cease to exist as a person in a democratic society. Okay? So, 3 principles lang yan. First, it is a human right. Right? It is a human right, so therefore, you need to exercise it. So, you have the right to vote. So, it's a human. Puro ako pictures eh. Naboboard din ako pag gumagawa ako ng PowerPoint na puro words. Now, second is participatory government. So in a democracy, the actions of the government will base on the needs and the necessities of the people. Kaya pag sinasabi natin democracy is the rule of the people, by the people, for the people. Okay? Pero of course, in other democracies, iba yun. You know? By the people, BUI, of the people, OFF. Okay? For the people, POOR, diba? For the people. So, eto, participatory government. You need to participate so that the government will know what you want. Okay? It's actually, the government is there only to represent the people. So, dyan, nakikita nyo, it's participation, representation, okay? Therefore, hindi pwede yung government nyo manghuhula na lang. Ano ba yung gusto ng tao? Siguro gusto ng tao ng death penalty. Siguro gusto ng tao ipasa ang BBL. So, hindi siya pwede manghula. Okay? Now, we need to exercise this, no? Because this is our voice. This is how we communicate with our government. Okay? And we communicate by electing people who we think will represent us. So, maraming tao nagtatanong sa akin, Sir, parang ayoko bumoto kasi anyway, ang government natin napaka-corrupt. Okay? And the question is, bakit ba corrupt yung government natin? And may always answer. And kahit sa mga barangay, kahit napapaaway ako sa barangay, kahit sa simbahan, sinasagot ko, alam nyo bakit corrupt yung government natin? Pumunta kayo sa banyo, tingin kayo sa salamin. Okay? Because people are also corrupt. Okay? May kasabihan sa political science, we get the government that we deserve. So kung corrupt yung government natin, it's because corrupt yung tao. And marami akong nakaaway, hindi ako corrupt, hindi ako nagnakaw sa bayan. Pumasok ka ba on time sa opisina? Nag-type in ka ba? No, pag alas 8:15 ka pumasok, nilalagay mo ba 8 o'clock? Oo, di corruption yon. Okay? Pag uwi mo ba sa bahay, nagdala ka ba ng paperclip para sa project ng anak mo? Paperclip lang naman yon. Marami namang paperclip sa office. But that is still corruption. Di ba? So, in many ways, people commit corruption. Kaya pag nagkaroon tayo ng mga leaders na naging corrupt, it's because we elect leaders who are corrupt. And those who we elect are the representation of ourselves. Kaya tawag natin dyan, participatory government. They are representation of ourselves. So, if you notice, medyo marami yung corruption this coming election. Like for example, marami sa inyo hihingi ng kung ano-ano sa mga ating government officials, and they would actually give that to you. Kasi ngayon, tayo ang bida. So, in our university election, notice na kahit yung mga kandidato nyo biglang bumabait, di ba? Yung mga dating hindi kayo pinapansin na kayo ngayon. Di ba? Kasi nga, kailangan nila kayo. Okay? And tapos bigla ka lang, nagkakaroon ka na lang ng chocolate sa table mo. Tapos pag may quiz, may magbibigay na sa'yo ng papel. Diba? And since nababaitan ka, you will elect those people. Okay. Now, the problem is, kailangan, they only are being nice to you because it's election day. So, ganun din yung ating mga kandidato. So, we need to elect the right people so that we are represented well. So, dapat yung ine-elect natin is the representation of ourselves. So, ito medyo mahaba yung kwento ko, pero every election, okay, ito alam na mga estudyante ko sa Polsci, lagi kami nag-aaway ng nanay ko every election because every election, my mother would insist na, anak, ikaw yung ikaw yung expert sa political science. No? Can you tell us sino na lang yung iboboto namin? Para hindi na kami mahirapan, no? Lista nyo na lang, tapos ipamigay na lang natin sa ating mga kamag-anak para di na sila mahirapan. And every election, sinasabi ko sa nanay, mabulok na lang ako, hindi nyo makikita kung sinong iboboto ko. Bakit? Because my vote is sacred. The person I'm going to elect is a person who I think will best represent me. Okay? So kung may inelect ka ng tao dahil binigyan ka ng pera, okay, alam mo na kung anong klaseng tao ka. Ikaw ay isang mukhang pera. So therefore, yung tao inelect mo dyan, ganun din. Mukhang pera din siya. So uupo siya not because of public service, but because of what he or she will get from the government. Okay? So kaya nga, pangalawa niyan, of course, is kung hindi ka naman bumoto and wala kang representative, you don't have any right to complain. Kasi wala kang representation. Bakit ka magrereklamo? You are not represented because you choose not to vote. Kaya sinasabi ko lagi sa mga tao, you have to vote even in fact your candidate is going to lose. Okay? Bakit? Kasi you exercise your right. Therefore, if you exercise your right and still there is something wrong, you have the right to complain. Pero kung hindi ka naman bumoto, hindi ka bumoto, okay? pinalipas mo yung opportunity to vote, okay, you don't have any right to complain. Because on the first place, you did not participate. Okay? So karamihan kasi sa atin, mahilig lang tayo magreklamo. Pero ang tanong is, may ginawa ka ba? May ginawa ba? Okay? So everyone has to take part in the government, okay? Because this is a democracy. Everyone has the right of equal access to public service, and that public service can be equated on people which you elect who thinks will be your representative. Okay? So kung ang for example, ang binoto mo is a representative na sa tingin ko itong taong to will represent me kasi I'm an advocate of women's rights. Okay? So ibig sabihin, kung nanalo yung kandidato mo, most probably ang kanyang i-advocate are women's rights. Okay? The problem here in the Philippines is that we are not more into the policy, and I notice also that in our student leaders, wala masyado sa policy. Although yung policy is more on formality na lang, no, na ito yung gagawin ko, tapos with all the letters, no, kailangan may mabuo kang word, no. Ano yung reason kung bakit kailangan may mabuo na word or dapat may repeating yung words? It's so that people will remember. So, kasi sa election, pag marami ng name sa harap mo, hindi mo na yun maalala. So, maalala mo lang, ay naku, merong may isang kandidato na ganito kasi yung gusto niyang sabihin, no? Which actually represents his or her name. So, maalala mo. Like for example, ERAP para sa mahirap. So, it will stick. Or bilyar, nakalangoy ka na ba sa dagat ng basura? Which we don't really understand. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Okay? Then, last is that the will of the people shall be the basis of the authority of the government. So, people are there to be servants. Kaya yung ating presidente ngayon, which I was disappointed, kasi yung start ng kanyang inauguration, last January 30, 2010, di ba? Inaugurate siya, sabi niya, kayo ang boss ko. Then after that, wala na. Hanggang speech na lang siya. Okay? Kasi dapat, the will of the people is the one that will authorize the government its power. No? Yung tao, kung anong gusto ng tao. Okay? So, third is that it is the essence of a true democracy. So, ano yung essence ng true democracy? That power emanates from the people. Okay? So, power to the people. And kaya nga during election, tayo yung medyo powerful. Ang problema, tayo yung powerful but we do not really use that power kasi nagpapadala tayo sa ating mga politicians. So kung ano yung mga promises nila, nadadala tayo doon, hindi talaga natin kinikilala kung sino yung tao. So dapat kilalanin natin. Yung promise niya ba is realistic? Is it attainable? Like for example, no offense meant. This is Sir Lunar. Sir Lunar, hello. For example, national peace in 6 months. Okay? So we've been trying to do that for several years. Pero may nagsabi na national peace in 6 months. Okay, masaya, di ba? But the question is, how would you do that? So the devil is in the details. Okay? So madaling mag-promise, no? Pero how to do it is another question. Paano ba natin gagawin? So kailangan natin mag-participate because power is within us. I'm not saying na hindi niya kaya. What I'm saying is, dapat more details. Paano ba yon gagawin? So pag in-explain sa atin kung paano gagawin at naiintindihan natin, and we believe na kaya yon, then actually, that's empowerment, no? Kasi iboboto natin siya. Okay. Now, the question is, why do you vote? Why should you vote? Okay. And there are many reasons. Ito, 3 lang nilabas ko. First, voting is a social equalizer. Okay? Pag tayo bumoto, walang there's no other qualifications other than you are a qualified voter, registered voter. Walang ibang qualification. So hindi ka aamuin kung mabango ka, mabaho ka during the election, kung magkano ang property mo. Before it was that, no? Before you can actually vote, hanapan ka ng property. Meron ka bang property? Okay, mas matindi sa US kasi the first time they had elections, ang pwede lang bumoto ay mga white male. Then white male with property. Then, ang tagal bago nagkaroon ng female. Tapos, ang tagal bago nagkaroon ng yung mixed color. Okay? So, it is a social equalizer. So, ibig sabihin, walang mahirap, walang mayaman. Lahat, ang boto ng mayaman ay boto pa rin ng mahirap. Isa lang yung vote nila. Okay? So, it's a social equalizer. So, sa panahon ng eleksyon, lang tayo pantay-pantay. Okay? Pipila yung mga mahihirap, pipila yung mga mayaman, walang VIP card na pwede kang sumingit sa pila. And ang boto ng mayaman, ganun din sa boto ng mahirap. So hindi sabihin na, mas malaki yung binabayaran kong tax, dapat mas marami akong votes. Wala. Okay? Social equalizer. Okay? Second is that it is a privilege. Although it is a right, but it is also a privilege. Like for example, yung mga criminals who were convicted of a crime could not exercise this right to vote. Okay? Sa Ateneo, ito naman yung ating privilege. Una, our election is something for us to train future leaders. So, pag tayo nagkaroon ng election at nagkaroon tayo ng student government, we are actually training leaders. Okay? Take note, sabi ko, we are training leaders. Sabi ko, hindi training politicians. Kasi may malaking pagkakaiba ang leaders sa politicians. Okay? So, during elections, we are training leaders. Titingnan natin, meron ba siyang capacity? May capability ba to become a leader? But more importantly is that we are training students to become good citizens. Do you know how to vote? Not the technical na, dali-dali, punta ako sa computer, pindot-pindot, vote na. No. Do you actually know how to vote? Alam nyo ba kung sinong pipiliin nyo? And that's the usual question sa akin when I go to barangays. Sir, sino ba pipiliin namin? And they don't understand when I tell them na, alam nyo, just close your eyes and pray. Okay? Then there's a small voice that will tell you, vote for me. Seryoso. First, you have to be informed of the candidates. Na kung meron ka ng listahan ng candidates, okay, sabi mo, let's just choose the lesser evil. Let's just choose the lesser evil. Evil pa rin yun eh. Di ba? Evil pa rin. So, like ko sinasabi sa kanila, you can actually skip. No? Kung wala ka maboto dyan, okay na. Okay? Pwede sa ibang pwede kang maglagay ng characteristics of your good leader. Okay? Kunyari, kailangan matapang, may malasakit, may tiyaga, may nilaga. Okay? So, tingnan nyo lang doon. Then, hindi kailangan lahat nandoon. Hindi kailangan sa isang leader lahat ng characteristics nandoon. Kung ano lang importante sa'yo, for example, mas importante sa'yo na matapang para may political will, then yun ang pipiliin mo na characteristic ng leader mo. Pero kung wala kang pagpipilian, sa tingin mo lahat sila duwag, so pwede kang mag-skip. No? Hindi naman siya right minus wrong na pag nag-skip ka, invalid na yung vote. Okay? And make sure that you are informed. Kaya nga, kanina I was happy na maraming, sir, wala laging na pumasok sa class namin na nag-campaign. So, yung mga nagtumatakbo, note na, kailangan nyo mag-campaign kasi hindi kayo kilala ng inyong mga constituents. Okay. Next is that it is a responsibility. Okay? So sabi nga ni Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. What is that power? It's actually the power to choose our leader and the power to participate in the government. But with that power is that the responsibility that you actually vote and that you choose wisely. Not because the candidate is your friend, not because the candidate looks good, not because the candidate gave you something, but because you think that that candidate will represent you well. Okay? And baka sabihin nyo na, ay nako, wag na lang kaya. So it's not only of what you do, but it's also of what you do not do. So responsibility is not only for what we do that we are held responsible, but also for what we do not do. So if you do not vote at nanalo yung mga candidate na ayaw mo kasi hindi ka bumoto, you are very irresponsible, then you don't have any right to complain. Kasi kasalanan mo yon. You were given a chance, but you did not practice your right to vote. Okay? And may time pa ako. How, how much time? Wala, konti na. Sige. May kwento sana ako pero next time na lang. Yeah. Okay, so with that, I will end my presentation and I hope that you were enlightened why you need to vote and why is there a need to vote. Thank you.